Welcome, everybody, to the Weekly Grind Podcast. I am your host, Keith Fabbri, with my co-host tonight, Tommy Styles and Doctortoddlee. Guys, how we doing?
I'm good. Can't complain.
All right. Todd, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
All right. Guys, we have episode 21, and if you would have asked me back when we started this, if we would have made it 2 episodes, I would have told you probably no. We're at our 21st episode, so I'm kind of excited because I know some of the guests we have coming up here in the next month. Let's go ahead and let everybody know. Next week is Justin Harris and Nate Wolf and Jason Theobald. We're going to talk about macros for bodybuilding. On March 21st is John Meadows, and we're going to talk about training for hypertrophy. March 28th, we have IFBB Pro Ashley Sneathen, who's actually going and converting from figure to women's physique this year. And then on April 4th, we're going to do Anabolic U Part 3 on IGF-1, HGH, and insulin, and that's going to have Phil Viz on. So those are some of the shows we got coming up. So everybody can mark those down if they want to listen up for them and stuff. We're going to get some really good ones going on in April, too. I've got some other things in the work. I just don't want to announce it yet. Tonight, guys, we have with us probably one of my favorite competitors out there right now. And especially from a physique standpoint, we think his physique is pretty much fucking flawless. IFBB Pro, Terrence Ruffin. Terrence, welcome to the Weekly Grind Podcast.
Hey, what's up, Keith? How you guys doing today?
Good, man. We're doing good. Well, I said you're one of my favorite physiques, and that is the truth. I mean, last year at the Olympia, I think you got a raw deal, and I'll be the first one on record to say that. I thought you were probably the hands down the best one or best 2 up on stage, and your placing obviously didn't match what I thought and what a lot of people thought, and I'm sure that you were probably a bit disappointed too, especially after working as hard as you did to get there. We're going to go ahead and let you talk a little bit in case people don't actually know who you are if they've been under a rock for the last couple of years. But I'm pretty sure just about everybody out there listening knows who the hell you are. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and some contest history. How you got started.
All right. So I got started in bodybuilding back when I was 18. I had just failed out of like a special forces training, TAC P in the Air Forces. If you've ever heard of it.
Yep.
And when I was waiting on my new job, I found the gym, and I found out I loved it. And so a year later, at 19, I did my first show. Took dead last, that actually, a lot of people may get have bad feelings or a sour taste in their mouth, but it actually motivated me to push harder. From that point, the following year, I actually turned pro. I turned pro as a lightweight bodybuilder at the age of 21, so like a year and a half.
Okay.
But at the NPC National Championships in Miami, 2014. Okay. At that point, there was no classic physique, so the only thing I could do was try to gain some size for the 212. That's what I did all of 2015. From that point, I think at the very beginning of the end of 2015, they announced that they were bringing classic. Obviously, I wasn't up to the weight that I needed to be competitive in the 212 class.
Right.
So me and my coach, Matt Porter, decided to make the switch.
Okay.
It's funny that I say that like I didn't make it, but there's a few lightweights who can make that that made that jump really quickly. I'm getting off track, but the new guy, Dwayne Famina, put on 90 pounds in 2 years, which is ridiculous.
Right.
But anyway, from that point, I did my first show in the Prestige Crystal Cup in Miami. I took third behind Breon Ansley, the current Mr. Olympia Classic Physique, and second place was Darren Charles.
Right.
That following week, I won my first show in Tampa, the Tampa Pro. Placed 9th at the Olympia. I think I should have been higher, and I was a little bit confused with the placing. Honestly, I usually I would have I had myself a little higher. I don't think I would should have won or anything, but That's I don't know. And then this year I competed last year I competed at the Olympia again, and I moved up to 6th place. So
yeah, and
that's a little bit of
You should have been, in my opinion, the year before. You should have been about 5th or 6th. You were pushing that top 5, and then I thought coming back, you were one of the top 2 favorites to take it last year. And then, of course, that just didn't work out. And but that's my opinion. I'm not a judge, but I mean, I have my opinions, and I know I know the sport, and I know what I'm looking for. And classic physique is no different than bodybuilding. It's the same damn thing. It's just bodybuilding with a weight restriction to your height. I mean, it's still the same thing.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
But so the choice to go to the classic physique obviously was just looking at the time that it was going to take to get big enough to compete in the 212. Is that exactly what it was?
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, that was the thing, and like honestly, like you said, to me, it's not that big of a difference.
No,
especially in my situation where I haven't had to like stop gaining weight. I've been still putting on muscle each and every year. So,
sure.
The only difference for me is the trunks and the poses we hit.
Right. Yeah. With that, if you ever got yourself up to that weight where you could compete in the 212, would that be an option for you? That'd be something you would think about?
Yes, I would definitely think about it. And the thing is, like, to me, I'm like, whatever way my physique looks best, I'll just, if I look good, competing in the 212s, I'll do it.
What, how far underneath are you right at the weight restriction now?
I think I could potentially, gain another 10 pounds.
Okay.
Last year I competed at 173 and the cutoff was I think 175, but
they increased the weight.
I could do any water manipulation or anything like that.
Okay.
So I could probably get up pretty high and then suck down to make the weight.
If you had to. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't they increase the weight, or was that last year they increased the IFBB weight?
I actually just looked it up yesterday. I think they increased it in November.
Yeah,
and it looks like I may be able to get to 180. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they did increase it another. I think it was another 5 pounds. I think they did the same thing in the NPC too. So there's, I think they're realizing that when they put those weight restrictions in, they might have made them a little too small.
Yeah, especially the first year.
Well, I mean, I'm 5'5", so there's literally no way in hell that I could ever weigh 165 pounds. So that's not ever in the cards for me because, I compete at around 200. So it's just not going to, I mean, I have to cut a leg off in order to do it. So, I mean, but for somebody like me, if it was like, I think like 175 would be more of a ideal weight, like another extra 10 pounds. Somebody my height then could fill out enough to where they would look, they would look as big as they need to for that weight class. But yeah, I'm glad that they actually increased it because I think it was, like I said, it was just a little too light for the time. It's not 1975. I know they want it to be like 1975 bodybuilding, but
the thing is though, like those weights, those bodybuilders were still heavier. Like we're just now getting to like, it's crazy.
Yeah, they were. I mean, even Frank Zane was around 180, 185 pounds. I mean, then that's what they're saying. They wanted to model that after, but it's like he was a lot heavier than you think he was.
Yeah.
He really was. So what do you have on tap for this year as far as competitions go?
Glad you asked. I just started prep today for the Toronto Pro.
And I asked that because I saw that. I actually saw you post that today, so that's why I asked. I knew you had something. I just didn't know how many you had coming up.
That one. And then also, I'm thinking of doing a show in Spain as well, just to get out. I usually I've been shooting shows like where I can go somewhere I haven't been.
Right.
And then after I compete, I can actually, hang out there. When I'm done,
Sure.
I'm already there.
Sure. Yeah, I would too, especially if you can afford to do it. There's no reason it's like a vacation too after you're done, especially if you got enough time between the next 2 shows where you can actually relax and enjoy yourself for a couple of days.
Yeah.
The Olympia, is that for this year too?
So yeah, I gotta qualify first.
Right.
That's the plan. But definitely.
What do you need to qualify this year for Classic? What's the stipulations on that?
Oh yes. So it's still the same. We don't reach that with the 25 over show thing. So if you want to show, you qualify.
Okay. So, all right. Yeah, because I'm not quite sure. I know what the IFBB has for bodybuilding as far as there's a point system involved, or certain shows if you just win it, you're qualified for the Olympia. But I didn't know what they had stipulations as far as for classic physique. I'm not up to speed on that one yet.
Okay.
So, what as far as class? I mean, you obviously don't have to worry about it, like you said, because you're still trying to bring your weight up, and you have wiggle room as far as in your class. But have you seen with other classic physique competitors and the guys that are like around you that you've talked to and stuff, off season, is there a lot of some of these guys having to try to hold their weight down because they want to stay in that classic physique? Is that something that's kind of prominent right now?
Yeah. One guy, Breon, actually. Breon, I remember him at the Olympia doing cardio like the day before the show, and I'm like, oh my, no, well, the day, not the day before the show, but the day of weigh-ins. I think that's that Thursday or Friday, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I stopped doing cardio maybe like on a Tuesday. He's still doing it like Thursday, trying to get his weight down.
Right. You see it in the off season though, these guys trying to keep their weight in check because they know they've got to come down, like say for like somebody like you that's you've got to be 175 and 180 pounds. They don't want to get up too heavy in the off season.
Yeah, I have seen that too. I've seen that with Breon, Danny Hester.
Sure.
He actually weighs a lot more. He's actually really close to the limit. Arash, a lot of these guys up top are having that issue.
Right, and that's why I was saying with the IFBB, you having to make that jump up in weight class there for all the weights, because they got guys that are just struggling to make weight. It was kind of like what happened with the 212 when they brought it out as a 202. These guys were struggling to make weight so bad it was it's already unhealthy to begin with, but now it's borderline deadly when these guys are sucking down so hard to get to 202. So they jumped it up 10 pounds. So it's a good idea on their part. Explain to me what goes into, because obviously posing is much more of a part of classic physique. So how much are you actually practicing your posing? Is it a year-round thing? Is it, it really intensifies as you get closer to the show?
Okay, so I think posing, so like I practice year-round, and I might have the benefit of actually getting to work with a lot of athletes with their posing.
Right.
So it's kind of mandatory for me to pose year round.
Sure.
But I think it's important to do that, and also as my physique develops, as I bring up certain body parts, I can hit certain poses that I wouldn't look good as at a lighter weight. So I have to keep posing year round to, I guess, perfect what I'm trying to bring to the stage. As for time limits, right now I'm only posing I usually pose maybe 20, 30 minutes every few days in the off season, maybe 20, 30 minutes 3 times a week. I just started contest prep, so I'm planning on posing a little bit more often, maybe 20 minutes 6 days a week now.
Wow, that's a lot. It's one of the things that gets neglected in basically in all the divisions is the posing aspect. I mean, people are like rushing last minute practicing routines and stuff, and if you do it often enough, and if you just revisit it in the off season, you'll be really, really good at it come contest time, and then it's just a matter of using it as a conditioning aspect. And really, it's kind of like cardio, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If you're doing it right, if you're really, really holding your poses and stuff. I know people don't practice it enough, and it gets overlooked. So I'm glad that with the classic physique division that's like one of the main things is the presentation, because you're up there posing. You're not doing as many bodybuilding poses as like the bodybuilders are, but it seems like there's more emphasis on the posing, especially with the classic poses to have you do.
Yes.
From a diet standpoint now, off season, because you aren't trying to grow, let's get into your diet a little bit. What's Matt got you doing in the off season as far as calories go? Because you're an ectomorph. We can tell just by looking at you.
Yeah.
So what kind of crazy calories are you eating?
You say what?
What kind of crazy calories are you eating in the off season?
So this off season, I didn't get as crazy. The past 2 years, I was up to maybe 5,000 calories or so, which was a lot for me.
Okay.
I got up to last off season. I got up to 195.
Okay.
Which was like the heaviest I've ever been. And this off season, it was a little different. We did a lot more carb cycling. We had high, low, medium days.
Okay.
The high days got up to maybe 500 grams of carbs, 450 grams of carbs. Medium days were like around 250 and low days around 100. And I guess that's why I stayed a lot leaner this off season for that reason.
Okay.
Right now, I'm doing 383 grams of carbs, 350 grams of protein, and like really, really low fat.
Is that something standard that Matt does as far as the carb cycle? Does he use a 3-day carb cycle like that normally?
No, it was so. No, I've never carb cycled before.
Okay, so this is something new that he's have you doing. Okay. I was just wondering. I was curious because I know some of his other clients he doesn't carb cycle, and I've heard of ones that he does carb cycle. So I was wondering if it was something new for you that he's had you doing, or if it was something that you've been doing with him.
Yeah, very new. I usually just a strict 7-day plan. I set my day, he'll change it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because
Terrence, could you go over those macros for me again? Protein, carbs, and fat.
For right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now he has me doing 347 grams of protein, 383 grams of carbs, and like 21 grams of fat.
21 grams of fat?
Pretty much mostly just from the protein.
right. That's just trace fats.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's almost like, that's exactly how I do it. And I always thought I was going too low on the fat. I remember Victor Martinez only has 30 grams of fat. And I was like, so, I mean, like scientifically, me and Keith talked about this, there's not a lot of reason to have fat in a pre-contest diet as long as you can absorb the nutrients. You need some fat for absorption and for proper pancreatic enzymes to be released, yada, yada, yada. So if somebody's got proper digestion, you can probably just titrate down on the fat as much as you can. So you're coming in at 347 and 383. So how many calories does that come out to be? That's 14, 2,800, 3,000 calories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're eating right about where I'm at on a right now on my medium, because I carb cycle the same way, low, medium, high. I have one super high day where I cut protein in half and eat like 800 grams of carbs, and then my medium days I'm right about 300 right now, and my low days I'm under 100 just because I'm not training that day. But that's about the same thing that I'm doing right now. So you're eating almost as much as I do.
Okay. So if you just started your prep, Terrence, how much did you weigh when you started your prep?
Oh, prep started today. I weigh 174.
Jesus.
So you're 174 when you start your prep, and you're supposed to be 174 at the end of your prep?
Yeah.
So you're gonna end up growing into the show a little bit and just coming down
Yeah,
a
for
few
sure.
pounds.
That's why he's eating 400
Oh yeah.
carbs.
Oh my God. I'm going the opposite way, man. I'm coming down. I was 230. I was 232 today. I was so happy the scale dropped. I was like, yes.
Oh man.
28 pounds so far.
Yeah, I think this is the and the thing is too with my last contest prep. I don't know. We actually recomped a lot, and that's never happened before either. Where I started out at like 190ish. We got down to 173 7 weeks out, and I just stayed at 173 up until weigh-in, really.
Right. So you were still growing right to the end. If you're eating enough calories, you're going to, and obviously with your metabolism, you're not going to have to worry about getting fat. So basically, just eat. I mean, the more and for you, probably the more you eat, the faster your metabolism goes. It's just you start just snowballing into the show where you're just eating and eating and eating and eating and eating.
Yeah, my issue is gaining weight.
Well, especially if your fat is so low I mean, if you're running low fat like that, like Matt typically likes to do, I do know that with his clients, is you're running low fat, so you don't have anything other than the protein to slow the digestion down to the carbohydrates. So basically, you're just speeding your metabolism up faster and faster and faster. Once your body gets used to digesting that amount of protein every single day, it's gonna run faster and faster and faster. The only thing that'll actually slow it down is adding either more protein or adding something new like more fat. And it won't. So you'll just continue to, speed your metabolism up as you go. You'll get leaner, and you'll, pretty much maintain that body weight all the way through as you basically just tighten up. Oh, it's good to have great genetics. I can't do that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I can't do that, but I'm an old man too, so.
You're not that old.
Yeah, I'm 39. I'm old enough. So what kind of cardio then do you do? Do you have you just doing a small amount of cardio through your prep, just basically to move food around and keep blood flowing, or do you actually?
Cardio right now is at 40 minutes every day.
Oh wow!
Fasted. Yeah. And off season we had it at about 35 minutes every day.
Do you have naturally a big appetite?
One more time.
Do you have a big appetite naturally?
No, not really.
That's why you're doing the okay. So he's got you doing the cardio then to stimulate appetite so that you're more hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm gonna have a problem with being hungry during prep.
No. Yeah. No, that makes sense then. It's just stimulating your appetite basically with it so you can feed you more because you won't be able to eat enough.
Exactly.
I've got clients that are like that. They just don't have any appetite, and it's like, okay, well, you're gonna have to do cardio then, just so I can make sure that you eat enough.
Exactly.
So otherwise you eat like a bird.
Terrence, are you doing cardio post workout or fasted in the morning, or when are you doing it? What kind of cardio is it?
I'm doing cardio fasted in the morning. I usually do treadmill. I don't freehand it, 15% incline. I tried doing this Stairmaster today. Made it like 20 minutes and had to switch back to the treadmill.
Oh Jesus!
But that's what I normally do, the treadmill.
Good stepper story here. So the first time I ever actually used the step mill was my last prep, and it was about 8 weeks out. I've never used the damn thing before, right? So I always put it in my clients' plans and shit, thinking, it's not that big a deal. And then I got on there for like 10 fucking minutes and was just soaked and hurting everywhere. And I had to make a video confession to all my clients. I'm like, I'm sorry for putting this in your plans because I've actually never fucking done this before and it sucks. So like a week later, I'm on the stepper, and there's the way the step mill was set up. There was incumbent bikes sitting next to it. Well, they were like one was behind and one was on the side, and I had just started cleanse, so all of a sudden I get a cramp in my quad as I'm on the step mill, and both quads end up locking up, and I fall off the step mill onto a bike where there's an old lady pedaling the bike, and she just looks at me with the look of her in her eyes of like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm just like, hi, how are you doing? And I can't move because like my legs, my quads are cramped up and they're like cramped at a 90. So I'm just laying there on the floor, writhing in pain. And she's like, how dare you interrupt my bike session? Oh. That was my stepper story.
Not the most sensitive.
No, and I being a dumbass, I didn't start like magnesium or anything with it that day, so I wouldn't have that issue. I didn't think about it. I just jumped on the step mill after post training, so I was already kind of like dehydrated a little bit, and there goes cramps, and it was like 3 minutes in cramping.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I start I started 17 weeks out with the stair mill, just to get 5 to 10 minutes before I lift and 5 or 10 minutes in the morning before I do my treadmilling. And then I just titrate that up. So eventually it's 40 minutes in the morning. But yeah, I mean, like if you don't add that in till the end, it's almost like one of the most valuable tools for cutting your legs up you can't use. Because that thing will kick your fucking ass.
Oh, I know.
You can't like do legs or nothing. Your legs are shit for like the first month of doing the stair mill.
Right. Yeah, I haven't started it yet. It's going to start here soon. I just been walking on the treadmill at home. But I'll probably start kicking that step mill in at least a couple of days a week post training.
I always like it before I train because it helps me activate my lower body.
That could be.
It's like you get blood to your knees, you get blood to your hips, you loosen everything up. You train your glutes and stuff to be able to contract. So if you're doing benching or legs or back, it's good to have that mind-muscle connection with your lower body and have it all warmed up and ready to go.
Right.
That makes sense.
Kind of like what Kai Green does it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Once you do 12 minutes, it's like something like really anal, like 12 minutes on the dot.
I used to do that when I was coming up in body. I did exactly Kai Green's warm-ups and
I
that
did
12
too.
minutes on the Stairmaster.
I did the same thing.
We all do that. That's funny. I do 8 minutes just to be up because I'm lazy. I'm like, I'm going to do 8 minutes. And every client I have has 8 minutes. It's not 6. It's not 10. It's 8.
It's 8.
And it never changes.
I'll write this down. 9 minutes and 32 seconds tomorrow morning on the stepper. Write that down. Just to be a dick. No.
It's the best way to fuck with people.
I've always done for legs
Really
and stuff.
specific.
Right.
347 grams of protein. You know that there's some engineer freaking the fuck out. Like, how does he get it down to 47? You know, it's 50. It's 347.
Right.
Bitch. You know,
Right. You're like, did you actually count every gram? Yes, I did. Fuck.
Terrence, does Matt tell you what to eat, or does he let you fill in those numbers with what you want?
He tells me what to eat. He's pretty particular. He tells me what to eat, even with the even in the off season this time. He told me what to eat for cheat meals. So it was like either nigiri, pancakes, or like homemade burgers. So he's very strict.
So he gives you a structured diet and says this is what you're eating at this time every day, and then tells you what your refeeds or your cheat meals are.
Yes,
Okay.
He does.
Yeah.
I prefer that. That's easy, just to be a machine if you got that done for you.
Right. There's no thinking involved. Just
Literally follow the plan.
eat and train. That is it. I do that with I'll do that with some of my clients, but then there's other ones and stuff that I can trust them, that they know what to eat, you know? So I'll give them macros per meal and say, look, this is your totals, and then this is per meal. This is what I want you to hit every meal within a couple grams. And then I give them an approved foods list and say, this is what you can eat. If it ain't on the fucking list, don't eat it, basically.
So Matt is like super. So like he has me doing lean ground turkey, 99%, just because you save a little bit. It's a little bit leaner than chicken.
Sure.
So he's like that meticulous when it comes to my plan.
Terrence, who did you? Obviously, you switched from bodybuilding to classic, but who did you look up to in bodybuilding when you were strictly bodybuilding? Like who were some of your idols?
Yeah. So I'll give you a few, and all of them are for different reasons.
Sure.
So of course, Kai Green, he was the first one I emulated my training after. Probably not the best idea, but he was the first. Because he was very informative with his videos,
right?
Unlike a lot of guys. Besides that, my favorite mass monster was Marcus Rule.
Oh yeah.
Nice. And I guess favorite like older school guys would be Lee Labrada and Bob Harris.
Sure.
I think my overall favorite physique, though. Oh, I said my overall favorite, like physique-wise, would be Flex Wheeler.
Yeah.
Well, you're up there, man. You're inhumanly symmetrical.
Yeah.
Like, it is incredible. You probably don't know it because you look at a picture of you're like, I know that douchebag. But, like, when you look at someone else's physique, you're able to actually appreciate it.
Right.
So, from somebody else's perspective, you're there with the absolute legends like Serge Nubret. In fact, I know you're not going to believe me, but when I Googled you today, just to look at some pictures, Lee Labrada came up too.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, and you look better than him. You look better than Lee Labrada. There's no question.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go down in history as one of the greats.
Yeah, you
So,
you still got time yet, man. You're still got a long career ahead of you.
When you say that, like, I can kind of understand with, like, not being able to see, from other guys' perspective.
Yep.
Because I look at guys I compete against, and I'm still a fan of, like, bodybuilding and things.
Sure.
And classic physique. So I see guys, and I'm like, man, he looks great. Man, he looks great. So it's kind of hard to, compare myself with the, I don't know. It's just tough. I'm such a big fan of everybody. Like, I follow, I know my competitors, what shows they've done. I follow the new pros. I try to keep up with everything because I just love, keeping up with, the sport.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, we all started off as a fan of the sport, or else we wouldn't be in it. I mean, nobody just started training because they thought it would be a good fucking idea. They did it because they enjoyed the physiques, they enjoyed the look, and they wanted to emulate that. So we were all fans at some point.
Terrence, what do you think of, like, guys that are, I mean, obviously there's guys like you that are a smaller body weight that maybe don't want to try and push to be a big 212 or don't know if you could actually get up to the weight to be competitive. But what do you think about guys like recently, I'll drop a couple names like Cody Montgomery and Regan Grimes that are dropping from bodybuilding to classic and
Yeah.
claiming health reasons. Like,
Right.
That's been the big phenomenon lately.
So with Cody, I can kind of understand with the family and things like that, but also at the same time, I was listening to Sergio Jr. talk about it, and I agree with a lot with what he said. I'll talk about him separately, but with Cody, his first show was the Arnold Classic, and I remember watching some videos. He was like really upset that he didn't win that show, his first show being the Arnold Classic, and I'm like, and that I honestly think like. He, do a smaller show. It's not going to happen overnight. He's 20. He's a little bit younger than me. He's 23, 22 or 23.
Right.
You're not. How do you expect yourself to win a show? That quickly at that caliber.
Right.
Wasn't he? He was 21 when he did that, wasn't he?
And he was 20 pounds smaller than everybody else. I mean,
right.
He's getting outsized.
Won that one. It was Kai and Cedric won too. I mean, he had top 5 would have been a win for him.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, when you're looking at it from the beginning, you're like, okay, he's doing that show just for publicity, or they say he did it, but no, he actually thought he had a chance of winning, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ask him. You say what?
I just, you do that show. I mean, honestly, you got to pretty much, unless you're one of the top 5 guys, and you're one of the top 5 guys all the time, you've already lost before you step on stage. So you pretty much are fighting for a top 10 spot just to get in the money. And if you do that, you should be happy about it because, I mean, yeah, they sent the invitation out, but they gotta fill the roster out with something. And people, if I'm sure they're sending out 20, 25, 30 invitations to go to the Arnold, and not everybody's going to accept because they know they're just not going to do well there. Why would you do it?
Exactly.
Well, that was Cody's first time losing a show too. He'd been undefeated.
Right. Exactly. I mean, he had won everything to that point, but at that, I guess that's just being naive at that age that you think that you could just step on stage 20, 25 pounds lighter than everybody else and without the muscle maturity and beat these guys that have been doing it for 20, as long as you've been alive.
Yeah. I totally agree. So. But as for Regan, I would say, honestly, I don't think he's switching, first of all, but let's say if he was switching, I think that, I think what he was doing before he went to Kuwait was just fine. He took second or third at his at the pro show he did.
Yeah.
Very, very good for his rookie year. But then I guess the same thing with Cody. Probably thought, man, I should have won the show, or why am I not winning? And he went to Kuwait, and they do things differently there. Mm-hmm. And he probably thought this is how everybody does it. And he kind of got scared. So I honestly think that Regan, I'm more upset that if Regan actually did switch, I would be upset because he represents something that, he's the future of bodybuilding, and he has a great physique that could do very well in bodybuilding. He just needs a little bit more time.
Right. Well, and that's been the trend in the last, I don't know, 5 years or so, is that the patience to get there is gone. I mean, nobody wants to, take the time to put on the necessary size and then, hone their craft basically and figure out their body from a diet standpoint once they get there. Everybody wants the instant gratification to just jump into something, and because he doesn't win the show with both of them, they don't win the show right away. They want to automatically switch to, because they think this will be different. And it's like, no, you just need a few more years. You both have fantastic physiques. You both have a lot of potential. You just need a few more years to kind of, grow and mature. That's it.
Exactly. And he wasn't, like I said, he wasn't far off. He was, second or third.
Yeah.
I think his Regan's opening show was the Chicago Pro. I was there.
Right.
I can't remember what he took, but he was definitely top 5, and then the next week in Vancouver, I'm pretty sure he finished second.
Yeah.
So he had a very good rookie opening.
Hey,
exactly.
You jump in the IFBB in a bodybuilding show and you place top 5 two shows in a row. You're doing pretty damn good, especially when you're going against guys like yourself, who have been competing for
Jay
20
Cutler
years.
took like 15th in his first show, didn't he?
Yeah. Right. Dexter Jackson. Dexter Jackson was at the bottom in his first couple of shows. Those guys paid their
Ronnie
dues.
Coleman.
Well, Ronnie Coleman, his first, 4 Olympias, I don't think he ever cracked top 10.
Dude, he went from 9th to 1st
in a year.
When he started
and then kept winning them after that. So it happens. It's just a matter of waiting your turn basically till your body's ready to do the things and be able to take the demands that that you're placing on it. And once that's ready, then you'll start getting those placings that you deserve. But you're not just going to give you a placing.
Exactly.
Question here, you said that Regan got scared out of the weight. You care to elaborate on that?
So this is more so hearsay, but this type, because I've never been. I got invited, but due to me being in the military, I couldn't go.
They just issue invitation, kind of like the Arnold Classic. They just put out open invites, and anybody
it was
that wants
really
to.
Weird. They just reach out to you, honestly.
Right.
The one.
And by they, you mean Camel Crew or China and Clark? Who do you mean?
It was a trainer. One of the trainers. I can't think of his name.
It was Bader.
Not the owner. One of the Ahmad.
Okay.
Yep. He preps everybody. Brandon Curry and.
Yeah. That same guy. That guy. Yeah.
Okay.
He reached out to me. That's the guy. But just from what I've heard, they push a lot more drugs over there.
Oh yeah.
And from what I know about Regan, he actually stays pretty moderate from what I've met him and talked to him a few times. And
so my understanding is their big thing is no test, tons of nandrolone, like 2 grams of nandrolone, and 50 to 150 anadrol.
That's
is that around the lines of what you've heard as well? Okay.
We've all heard this. Obviously, everybody's heard the stories, but basically, you go over there, they have an apartment right next to the gym that he owns, and then Bader owns his own food prep company too. So basically, you walk in there and you train. You go back to their little the apartment or whatever that has a common room. Everybody plays video games and hangs out together, and then they go in the room and all their stuff that they need is there. All their food is prepared for them basically and just brought right to them. So you really don't have to do anything. It's literally a muscle camp.
That sounds awesome.
It is
bodybuilding camp.
It's what it is. It's a muscle camp. That's what it is. It's come get jacked.
It's like 11 again.
Come pay us this astronomical amount of money and come get jacked. What did they tell you how much it was, Terrence, to do that?
No, I didn't get very far. Just
no, okay.
Because I knew right off the bat, I can't go.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Yeah.
I should have just tried. I didn't know.
Try to get some info out of them.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Next time, get info. We want info.
Get some pamphlets.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I'll go. Fuck it. It's like, what is it, 2 months of my life, and I get to learn what I don't know?
True.
Exactly.
How much is a college education?
People say like they can't do anything, but I've just from looking at Brandon Curry's like Instagram, I've seen pictures of him hanging out. He's driven Lamborghinis out. They go out to dinner sometimes. So,
Right.
It's not. They get out a little bit.
It's like, I don't give a fuck about Lamborghinis or getting out. I don't care if sunlight touches my goddamn skin. I want to learn what they're doing over there.
Right.
I'll live in the fucking basement or the sewers. I need to learn this shit.
Yeah, there was
Like the killer croc over in Kuwait.
I can't remember who was telling me about some of the stuff basically, and I think I heard Nick Trigilli talking about a little bit about some of the guys that he knows have gone over there, and some of these. But basically, you go to your room and all your shots are lined up for you. Everything's right there. Everything's taken care of. And you can have somebody do them for you, or you can do them yourself. That's up to you. But basically, everything you need is right there. And like they'll cook all your meals. You just basically, all your food and stuff on your diet is they prep everything for you, so you don't have to do a damn thing but lift weights and sleep. That's all. Play video games.
They take the weights off for you. They take the weights off.
Yeah. Got a little guy that follows you around and racks all your weights for you, and you don't even have to do that.
Stress me out.
Stress
me out.
I mean, it would be fun.
Sounds like Rocky IV over there.
It is. Drago. If he dies, he dies. Yeah. We're like,
right.
The only thing dying in here is PRs because I'm killing them all.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to take a quick commercial break here, and then we are going to come back with Terrence Ruffin.
Have you ever wished there was a site devoted to providing true information about bodybuilding? One that shows you what the top bodybuilders are really doing? It's all here at musclementor.net. Nutrition, training, supplements, super supplements, contest prep, final week prep, and everything in between. There's training logs, diet logs, scientific articles, and hours of video footage covering every detail involved with building muscle and losing body fat. Brought to you by prep gurus Justin Harris and Brad Hall, all for only $9.99 a month. That's right, musclementor.net. Let's get freaky. Valhalla Labs at Valhalla-Labs.com. Created by Dr. Todd Lee himself, champion bodybuilder and biochemist, the best in testosterone support and intra and post-workout nutrition.
And we are back at the Weekly Grind Podcast, and we have our special guest with us tonight, IFBB Pro Terrence Ruffin, who started your prep today, you said, for the Toronto Pro, and recently went to the Arnold Classic last weekend, the freak show that is. Talk to us a little bit about the Arnold Classic. First, let's talk about the expo, and I'm sure you saw some fun stuff going on there, and the interaction stuff. Do you enjoy the interactions with the fans and stuff that come up to say hi to you?
Yeah, I do love it. I actually gave some free voting tips and things like that while I was there. I usually end up losing my voice, and I got sick from being there.
Right.
But it was a good time. I always have a fun time.
Cool. Now, you were there. Were you there with the with Matt Porter's booth, with the MPA booth? Is that?
Yeah, I
where
was
you were?
there working the MPA booth all weekend, all day, all weekend.
Well, your teammate there, Natalia Coelho, had a good weekend.
Yes, I was very, very, very happy.
Second in women's physique.
Yeah, second place to and Shanique. I turned pro with Shanique.
Right.
It's still very respectable. Second is respectable for anybody.
Yeah, I have a feeling that those two are going to be battling for a long time.
It could be like a Ronnie and Jay thing.
Yeah.
She got critiqued, and hopefully she listens. She needs to gain a little bit of size.
Yep.
She likes to stay extremely lean year round.
Right.
So hopefully, with the judges, telling her, "Yo, you need to gain size," she'll listen and take a real off season.
Right. Yeah. She's got just a freaky freaky physique to begin with. She's just genetically blessed, and then, but yeah, she was. You see her standing next to somebody. She was a little bit undersized, but that's kind of. I guess that's to be expected, seeing as how she was coming from figure. She's only done one other women's physique show before that, and she won that one. So I mean, it's like, you know, she genetically she's there. She just needs to get a little bit bigger.
Exactly.
So talk to us about the MPA booth there. Was it busy? Did you have a lot of fan interaction? And can you tell us about some of the fans, good and bad, that you got to meet?
Yeah, we so this is I think our second year at the Arnold. Yeah.
Right.
My second year at the Arnold too, and each year it's been getting better and better. I remember my first time doing an expo at the Olympia. You know, I didn't have many people coming up. That
Sure.
classic was new. This year was actually pretty busy, and you know, we had normal fans. We had the weirdos, the creeps, and like, oh my goodness. It's the weirdest. It's just weird.
What was
like to play a game?
What was the weirdest one you had?
So like it wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
It was Natalia. She had like the typical creep dude where he's in like he has his hoodie on and he had the baseball cap over the hoodie, and then like behind him was a guy with a trench coat on, and he was videotaping with the camera like hidden in the trench coat. It was really weird.
Schmoes, man.
Wow.
Like,
I'll have to ask her about that one. That sounds great.
Oh my God.
All right, that's weirder than me. I didn't think there was anyone out there weirder than me, but yeah.
Yeah.
There's someone weirder than me out there.
Todd, you would have scared him with that beard.
I shaved it today, actually.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Why would you do
I was
that?
trying to trim it, and I fucked up, and it looked like I was a Babylonian Sphinx. And then so I shot a video like that, and then I just cut it all off. So there's one video of me where I look like, what do you call it? You have to pass my riddles or I eat you. But
oh my God, that beard was getting out of control. That damn thing was.
It was ugly. It was like a joke after a while.
It's like
it was like I was like some Amish axe murderer. Is what I looked like.
Dude, I barely recognized you in November. At the
I know.
one. Like,
I know. Yeah. Well, the thing with that beard was it just kept growing out, like it was getting bushier, but it was growing straight out away from his face. And now it's like downturned, and it was going down into a point, and it stopped growing out. It just started growing down. So it was really, really big and thick at the top, and then it like came down to a point. I was just like, Jesus Christ, it's changed directions like 3 times since he started growing it.
Yeah, now it's all shaved, and I look like 15 years or 20 years younger.
So
easy.
You look like Todd. You look like normal Todd, not bearded Todd. Crazy.
Well, that's just it. Is I'm having
Expert
some
Todd.
Identity issue now because now I don't recognize myself. I'm like, who's that guy? Oh wait, I'm sorry.
After I shaved my head, I had the same issue. Right after I shaved my head, I was like, I walk by the mirror and stuff and look, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh yeah, that's you. Because I'm so used to seeing myself have hair. I've had hair pretty much my entire life, and then I realized that I was going bald anyway. So fuck it, let's just shave it off. And now it's like, now I'm used to it. But it took a couple weeks. Oh,
It does make your arms look bigger.
does it? That's good.
Yeah, that's the advantage of shaving
Right.
your head.
Right.
Is your arms look bigger.
Yeah. So she had the creeper. Did you have any fans that, like, just really nice fans that like still stick out in your mind, and like the interaction was that good? I mean, I know everybody has that where they talk to somebody and it's like, wow, I'm really glad I met that person.
Yeah, I did, and like it's really weird. I'm still getting used to it. Like people,
Sure.
Doing that, like it's different, but it's really nice to hear. Honestly, it's really nice. I think, and that's why and a lot people ask me why I'm doing Toronto or that show, and it's honestly the only reason I'm doing Toronto is because I did a poll, and a lot of Canadians want me to come out to Toronto.
Sure.
So it's like, I'll do it then.
So the classic physique, Arnold, Give us your thoughts on that lineup and stuff, and where you saw that. Did you agree with the placings, or was there some surprises in there to you?
So the placing, like doing so I had my predictions, and
Sure.
I'm really happy for Courage Obara. He took third, and then Kevin Ford. I was checking those guys out, weeks ahead of the show, hoping
Sure.
they would, place well. Kevin actually works with Jason Theobald.
Okay.
Me and him chatted back and forth about him, and so first and second, Arash and Breon. It was actually a lot. So it was actually a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Arash actually, surprised. And I'm not a big Arash fan, honestly. I've never been a huge fan of his physique. He's a nice guy, but his physique-wise, I've never been a huge fan. But seeing him on stage at the Honor, he really put everything together the best he could, physique-wise, posing-wise, everything. And actually, if I go through pose by pose, he won. In my opinion, he won more mandatory than Breon. I think Breon won because of the symmetry round.
Okay.
More, so like front double bicep, I would give to Breon. Side chest, Arash. Of course, the back pose goes to Breon. But the ab and thigh and the classic pose, I both gave to Arash. I think, and it's honestly, I think it's because the way the poses Breon chose for those. I think if you would have, hit him differently, he could have won them. But he did like a praying mantis shot, like Arnold used to hit.
Right.
And I really don't think that's the best shot for him. Where you look at Arash and he knows his money pose is that side track of his chest and his shoulders, are so full.
Right.
And that was my opinion on that. As for the rest of the placements, I like I said, I like Courage, and I was looking forward to him compete. I think out of that top 6, he was the least conditioned. He stood out in that sense. So he has an amazing structure, but I think conditioning wise, he's kind of lagging behind the rest of the top guys. Which actually, I mean, if you think about it, that really shows you how well he's put together. Because he can beat so many guys and not be as conditioned as him.
Right.
And besides that, it was a lot of guys. It was 30 guys.
Yeah.
And it was. I don't think they spent enough time posing each and everybody, but I can't do anything about that.
I've noticed that where they're rushing, and this goes all the way down to the NPC level and stuff. There's a lot of rushing guys on and off the stage because you have so many classes now that you have to get through, that there's been a lot of rushing through and not giving them the time to hit their poses and stuff. It's like okay, this isn't a fucking race.
I don't know why they had to rush. I mean, the 212 only had 7 bodybuilders, so
right.
Exactly, they were an hour early.
Yeah.
So I talked to Dan. I talked to the guys. So they were supposed to go up at 1:30, and they ended up going up an hour early, and really didn't let them know too well. I talked to Danny. Danny said he asked them, and then he had a burger, and then like 10 minutes later, he had to pump up and get ready.
Get on stage.
So I'm like, man. So
did you get to watch the amateur classic physique at all?
No, but I saw who won. I saw pictures of the guys who won.
He crossed over because he won his class in bodybuilding too.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
He was a heavyweight.
He came in shape, but I'm not. I don't know. Something's a little bit off in my opinion.
Yeah. We had a couple of guys from Michigan that were down there competing in the amateur show. One of them won the A class, and didn't he win a bodybuilding? Didn't his class in bodybuilding as well? Tommy?
I don't know. Who are we talking about?
Oh, what the hell's his name? He won the Flint Mid Michigan last year, the overall in bodybuilding. But he went down. He won class of physique A class, and then he win like the welterweight, I think it was, or the lightweight.
He might have. I just saw.
I think he won them both. Down there, and then Ken Cody, who's a good friend of mine, took 9th in his classic physique class.
Okay.
which I thought he should have been first call out. I mean, from a conditioning standpoint, he was spot on, but first time up there.
I think, but for classic, the reason why there were so many, a lot of people were asking is because there were too many invites.
Right.
We decided to instead reimburse the top 6.
That's.
So
I mean,
it was just if you wanted to compete, you could enter your name.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't like that. I really didn't like that at all, the way we did that. I think the Arnold, it's a prestigious event.
and you should. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. To invite the guys who you think should be there.
Well, they only give so many invites for bodybuilding. That's been the standard. They only give so many invites for the other divisions too. That's been the norm over the years. Is that it's an invite only show, where the Olympia is you qualify it show, and then all the other ones, pretty much you can just you can compete in because they're smaller and there's less draw. But your two biggest shows are the Olympia and the Arnold, and it's been that way. I don't know if it's a thing where they've expanded because they've expanded the Arnold so much now as far as all the different locations that it's in. The Arnold Brazil and all the different Arnold classics that they have around the world, that they're just, allowing for, people to just come in because they've kind of watered it down a little bit, but it's still the original Arnold in Columbus is still a very, very prestigious show. It should be invite only.
Okay.
What are you doing? Dude.
Yeah, I hear that too.
Dude, what are you doing?
Hit the mute button when you take a piss, dude.
Oh. That's a new one for even you.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Oh, all right. Are you done?
Good thing the ladies listen to this.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. So, what other contests did you get to see while you were there? Events.
Really, that was it. I've seen pictures and
Okay.
of the 212, and it's pretty. I was, I hate to say it because I know a couple of the guys that competed. I know Charles and Jose, and
Yep.
And I was a little disappointed with the overall look of the 212 this show.
It didn't seem like the conditioning was as good as it's been in years past.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I don't know. I saw Charles, and I know Charles was looking like the favorite to win. I didn't get to see him after the show, but I saw him that morning before.
Right.
And he said he was, the lightest he's ever been. He was only like 190, 194 or something.
Wow.
Like that, he told me. So, and I remember last year he had to struggle to make weight.
Right.
That's
He normally struggles to make weight because I talked to him there 2015. I was talking to him the night at the athlete the meet and greet. I was talking to him for like 20 minutes. He hadn't have anybody around him, so I just stood there and talked to him for like 20 minutes. And he's like, "Yeah, I just made weight." And he's like 211 and a half.
Yeah, I think he had to get naked one time to make weight.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
Yeah. He said,
speaking of people that didn't have lines, Lee Priest was at the show. Crazy. I'm the big. I didn't mention him, but Lee Priest is definitely one of my favorites.
He's always been one of mine too. Yeah, that's the thing is, and I heard, and this was like somebody else saying this too, is that you've got all these bodybuilders like yourself and all these big names and stuff that didn't have the super huge lines and stuff to meet them, but Instagram famous person over here that has never done shit in their life has like 9,000 people waiting in line to meet them. And it's
ridiculous.
It's a travesty.
You got guys like Lee, guys that didn't have a line,
right?
A lot of these guys,
10 years ago, that wouldn't have been the case. You would have had to wait 2 hours to meet Lee Priest at least.
Exactly. And the thing is, like,
the bodybuilding.com line was like wrapping around itself. It was so big.
Right. Wow. Everybody wanted their free garbage.
Pretty much.
Oh.
And Lee Priest, it's just as crazy. Like, and then the thing is, Lee Priest hasn't been in the States at an expo in a decade.
Right.
Plus. Like maybe longer, 15.
It's been the last time I remember him being was, I think I went, was it 2006 or 2007. I went because I stood in line to meet him. It was a long time ago. I mean, I was just a little fanboy. I mean, I was a power lifter, but I loved Lee Priest. So we waited like 2 hours to get an autograph from Lee Priest. I mean, the line was ridiculous. And this is when he didn't even have a supplement company at the time. He had just left. The hell was it that he had left? It wasn't Twin Lab. He had just left somebody, but he was getting ready to start his first supplement company that he had at the time. And he had just had his own booth. It was just him. That's all it was. And he was signing pictures and stuff, and he had some of his training videos and stuff for sale there. But I literally had to wait 2 hours. You know, it was the same as what it was to go see Jay Cutler at the time at the Muscle Tech booth. I mean, you had to wait 2 hours if you want to meet those guys.
He's an anomaly. Like, it's very few people hold their like fame like he does.
Right.
It's crazy. People still follow him around and chat with him. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if Ronnie was there, it would have been the same thing. I mean, when that's not gonna go away. Dorian Yates, whenever he shows up for one of those, usually has a nice long line too to meet him. So I mean, you win a couple Olympias, that's a little bit different story, but
yeah, it may be because of he's older, but I remember Samir being at the Olympia too.
Right.
2016. He didn't have a long line. The guy who had the long line was actually Tom Flatts.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I know Tom. I've met Tom and talked to Tom many, many times. He's actually come up here to do seminars in Grand Rapids because one of my good friends, John Pitch, he was coaching John in 2013. So he would come in and do like little nutritional and training seminars and stuff at John's gym. So Tom's a good guy.
Yeah.
Is there anything else there that stuck out to you over the weekend?
Just the little Redcon Blackstone beef they had.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that one.
So the Redcon guys were like, they're stamping people's foreheads, and I think they got a free shirt for it.
Right.
And it was ridiculous. And then apparently the next day, Blackstone shows up with stickers, and they said, hey, you'll if you let us put a sticker over the Redcon stamp, we'll give you a free shirt. And it was it's kind of petty and crazy.
You've had companies that were feuding before there, but that's a new one.
And the worst part is people were letting them do it. I'm like, really? You want a shirt that bad? I don't know. Dude,
these people don't give a fuck about any of it. You know how many times I've seen on people's Instagram stories, all my free samples, all this, all that, and I had to make a post about it because I'm like, you're all excited about getting these free fucking samples of the cheapest supplements that you can possibly get for free because they're making it cheap to begin with. It's just a bunch of garbage. I mean, there's only a few reputable companies out there anymore, and those are the ones that are charging, they're charging really high amounts of dollars because they're making you good products. It's the only way they can turn a profit. I mean, your sponsor, Matt Porter, approved as that's one of the ones out there that I think is reputable because Matt he's even said, look, I can't charge any less than this or I don't make any money because, he's putting real ingredients and dosing his ingredients in his products and stuff. Todd's another one here. Todd's supplement company he basically knows he's not going to make any damn money because he's actually making good supplements. There's a few out there, but for the most part, they're just putting the cheapest ingredients. You're not getting anything out of value, even for free.
To me, putting people like Aaron out of business is payment enough.
Right.
Because eventually these kids will find something else to do. They won't be buying their Gymshark and their Redcon bullshit. But the people that actually lift are going to be like, wow, this is crap because I can't get in my post-workout meal because I'm so fucking high from all the crack that's in this pre-workout. Exactly. It's like I'm still skinny as fuck and I keep taking all these steroids and it's not helping me. It's just making my dick turn inside out. So it's like eventually people will start using only quality brands. So the idea is to get the highest quality shit out at the cheapest price with free shipping. is because in 10 years, in theory, there'll just be a few brands left, and they'll all be fucking awesome because everyone else will go left.
Right. Well, I had to say that these people they're talking and basically talking up all these supplements that they got. Everything's free, and they got their free T-shirts, and I'm just like, oh my god, you're just playing into everything that these fuckers want you to do, because you're gonna basically talk about how you got a free sample of Redcon's new pre-workout, which, by the way, is basically just methyl crack. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a really cheap methyl crack. Congratulations.
Faces of meth.
Right. So, yeah. Well, you guys,
It's
go ahead.
Redcon. Most of the kids don't even know. Like, the companies that are putting out good shit don't have to give out free samples because they know their fucking products are good.
Right.
Like, and those are the the MPA booth. There was never a line. I walked right up to it and I talked to a couple buddies I had working there. Like, people only go for free shit. And they don't understand why they're even going or what's in their product.
Right.
Exactly.
And Redcon just plays into it. They play the business model.
Yeah, they go under that.
Right.
And they picked up. I noticed they've been picking up a lot of new athletes too. They picked up the Steve Lars. They picked up Kenneth Owens. These some newer, a lot of newer names they've been picking up like candy. And I'm like, it's no way these guys are getting anything worth it out of these deals. Really?
No, absolutely not. They're nothing but brand reps is all they are. They get some free shit, and that's about what they get. They're not getting anything of substance from that company whatsoever because he's too fucking cheap.
Well, how many Instagram profiles can you click on and somebody has, Tommy 10 or whatever their Redcon discount is? Like, they're creating an army of just bullshit.
Right. BPI did that too.
People, yeah.
BPI is guilty of doing that. I swear to God, every bikini girl on my fucking Instagram at one point was sponsored by BPI, and I'm like, they can't sponsor this many fucking people. Oh, you have a discount code. Never mind.
It's incredible, man.
You have a discount code. Never mind.
The Bang Energy line was quite long too. That booth was.
Yes, it was.
I went and saw them.
Yeah. I had that girl from Australia there. They
had like 20 people working that booth, so it was a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just one girl that works for them that I kind of have a crush on. But I don't look at Instagram very often, but when I do,
that's where you go.
That's what
obviously, I don't care that much because I can't remember her name. But it's like that's the only Bang sponsored athlete I know. It's just some ridiculously hot girl. Why is she putting all these pictures up all the time? Then she got picked up by Bang. I'm like, oh, that's why.
Yep.
It's like she wanted to get sponsored. That's why. At least she's not in her underwear like a lot of these girls are. Like, what the fuck happened to Instagram, man? It's like softcore porn now.
It's like Pornhub.
The thing is about that though, like these girls that do that and then like they get sponsored, it's like the audience you have, they don't give a shit about what you're selling. They just want to see you in your underwear,
Right.
Oh, go through the comments on those girls that post those type of pics. It's all fucking schmoes, man.
It's all it is.
Not one question about the product they're peddling. It's just all fucking hard eye emojis and eggplants.
Well, it's like confusing to me. Is like, what is this girl's end game? Like, you're not gonna get any boyfriend like that because you look like trash,
right?
So, and it's like, okay, so she's now modern and she doesn't need any man. But like in a few years, you're gonna want something deeper than just a ton of dicks. And it's like, you're now when that comes out that you were putting those pictures all over the internet, no quality dude's gonna want that. Well, and that's like, it's just kind of gross.
Those pictures
are. Let's say you didn't want to hook up with somebody. Would you want the girl who's putting those pictures up? I mean, how many dudes has she banged?
True.
It's gross. It's just, I don't get it. So that's what you want to come across as just go into porn. Like, what are you even wasting your time with Instagram for?
Right.
You get paid for porn. You don't get paid for Instagram.
Well, no, they get a free container of protein.
Yo, now a
Totally
lot of these fitness girls are going to that. They're doing cams now.
Webcam. Oh, they are doing cam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
doing webcam porn. That's funny. I want to feel bad. Did you have a daughter? Fuck.
Sex sells.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, it's you pay your $20 or whatever to get in the expo, and once they've got you. Once you get in there, they're gonna give away their shit, and they're gonna hook you, and they're gonna give you what you think is a fucking deal if you do buy a product from them, and it's really not a deal because, they made that fucking pre-workout for $3.98, and they're selling it to you for $50. But you know what? We're gonna give you a deal today, $35. Well, fuck, you're still making $29 or $30 off of it. That's why on the last day, if you go in there on the last day and they don't want to pack all that shit up and take it back with them, they're selling 2 and 3 containers for like $15 because they don't want to take the shit back. They don't want to pack it up, and they know how much it costs, so they know how much they can sell it for.
Yeah.
I don't think they're really giving you a deal. That's not what's happening here. It's just they're being lazy and they don't want to take it back because they're not paying their fucking employees that are sitting there very much to sit in the booths. They're not doing it. They don't give a fuck. Oh, that's my rant on the supplement industry. Sorry. I think there's a better way. I mean, you have the ability to make something that can help somebody, or aid them in their goals, and you're just going to take advantage of the fact that they're basically reaching and looking for anything that they can. They're looking for the holy grail, and you're going to take advantage of that. I think it's just fucking bullshit, is what it is. But
yeah, you're right.
You can challenge a lot of these companies' reps. You could walk up to those people at the Arnold and be like, "Can you tell me what this product does? Can you tell me what these ingredients are?" And
yeah, they don't even know.
95% of them have no fucking clue.
They don't even know what's in it.
Dude, I used to give people a heart attack. It was so much fun. Because back then, it's like you expect them to know what the fuck they're talking about.
They don't.
And you don't realize that they don't. And so you're getting frustrated like they're fucking with you. It never occurs to you, no, they're that stupid. That they can't fucking use Google and look up on Wikipedia what the goddamn ingredients are themselves.
Right.
So when they show up to work, they're able to answer questions intelligently.
Right.
They're talking about all this emotional shit. Like, no, man, this is the best. You'll have the greatest, sickest workout, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I know, but how much nitric oxide precursors are in it? I just know that this was formulated by Jay Cutler himself. I'm like, so Jay Cutler himself was responsible for this? It's like it was his choice to put less nitric arginine than there is caffeine in it. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Right. He's like, hey, man, you can just take it. It's like, so wait, you're like beating it into submission to where you just want to quit? He just wanted me away from the booth so other people didn't hear. It's like, they just give me shit to go away. They're like, just go away,
here,
troll.
just take it, go. That's funny.
We're not trying to cross your bridge. Take the gold and run.
Right. All right, guys. You guys got anything else?
No, I just really appreciate all the work you do. Thank you for being on that Olympia stage and reminding the world of what bodybuilding used to be and what it can be again.
Right. Definitely.
That your division has driven people's waists smaller.
Yes, it has.
Before you, bodybuilding was getting gross, and then the classic physique guys fixed it. So now, even as a bodybuilder, we're still obligated to have smaller waists and do vacuums and shit like that. That's a good question. Like, let me ask you that. How much do you practice your vacuum?
You know what? I actually started this off season because I was watching these guys like Chris Bumstead hit them, and I'm like, oh wow, because at first I was like, no, but now I do them, every morning. I don't do a ton of it. I do like maybe 5 sets, and I hold it till I can't hold it no more, and that's what I've been doing, and it actually worked pretty quickly.
Right.
Because I posted some pictures on Facebook and Instagram Tuesday, and like my vacuums have come along very quickly.
Now, how long do you ever time how long you hold them for?
I can do like 20 seconds at a time. Yeah.
That's pretty.
All
That's
right.
pretty damn
So
good.
I started at 17 seconds, and I've worked it up to 65 seconds.
Oh wow. So mine is
Yeah.
so like you know what me just holding my stomach like in like flexing my abs in, I can do that for around that time. But like the way I hit it is different. I actually have to I actually hold my breath and like do something with my body where it like pulls it all the way in, and that's how I get that effect that I've been having. I don't know. I don't know if I'm. That's how I've been doing it though.
Well, it's probably the same. I haven't done it standing for 65 seconds. I do it when I'm laying it on my back. And then once I hit 90 seconds on my back, I'll flip over and do it like the next Arnold step. And then I'll do it on my, sitting in a chair. But when I start impatiently, like trying to do it while I'm standing, I never am able to hold it for more than 8 or 9 seconds. And I get to the show day, and then I'm too tired to do it. So I figured if I did it right and followed Arnold's instructions for like a half a year, maybe I'll be good enough from show day. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight, Terrence. It's been a pleasure having you. Anytime you want to come on again, just let me know, and we'll schedule something. Especially once you get closer, once you get into your Olympia prep after you qualify. We'd love to have you on for that and talk about your prep there and what's different for your prep at that point and for the Olympia. So for Tommy Styles and Todd Lee and Terrence Ruffin, I'm Keith Fabbri saying this has been the Weekly Grind Podcast, sponsored by Valhalla Labs at valhalla-labs.com. And we will see you next week with Justin Harris, Nate Wolf, and Jason Theopold talking about macros for bodybuilding. Keep grinding.